Hello there, it's Kim again, coming back to you with a paper crafting video. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based out of the Okanagan, British Columbia, Canada, and I'm coming to you again today with the Advent calendar. We're going to do day number 5 now. So let's have a look. See, this is the stamp set that it comes with. The Advent calendar comes with, and it's 12 days of Advent. 12 days of crafting. So let's move on. We'll open this up. Okay, so we've already opened days 1 through 4. So I will open those up so that I have those supplies to work with. Now, as you can see, I've got a little sprig in here. It's because I die cut it and didn't use it on project. So I'm just keeping them in there. They'll eventually go in the bag, but we've got our die cuts here, which have a few standalone, and then some of them are used to cut out the images on the stamp. So we got one that cuts out the flower and this flower, and I'm not sure what else there was. Yeah, I think it's just the 2 flowers. The 2 flowers get cut out. Yeah. So yes, die cut. You're probably waiting to get moving on. Okay, number 2 is designer series paper, single-sided paper, and I've used a fair amount of it. There's a lot of scraps in the back, but yeah, we've got some lovely paper. Then day number 3 is these gorgeous gold embellishments. They are flat on one side and mounted on the other. They do not have adhesive though, so you have to put a little bit of glue down and then put them down. Then day number 4, we got some sentiment pieces, like some shapes, some gold trimmed shapes. That was day 4, and here we go. Let's open day number 5. So push in the little thumb spot there, and then you pull up on the perforated edge. What do we have? What do we have? Oh, look at that. Wow. Did not think this would be something inside of a Advent calendar. Oh, look at that little blending brush. Okay, so this is a mask. This is something you can use to blend a design, and you do the layers as you go. These are very similar pieces, like the floral idea, very similar to the, you can make your own designer series paper with this. How fun is that? Let's play. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Okay, so we've got a little mask here. All right. We are going to grab some Post-it notes because we're going to need to be able to tack down our masks. Okay. So let's just pull in a piece of white paper. We're just going to pull in a scrap piece of white because that is going to be the best thing to work with. So let's just cut what would be a mat, like a front layering piece. Let's go 5 1/4 by 4. That's just a basic piece, right? So we'll just pull that in. And then we're gonna put a little, what do we want to do? I just want to do, what do I want to do? I think I want to do this pretty little piece here. So I'm doing some masks. We've got our 1, 2, they're all numbered, 3 and 4. Okay, so I'm going to do number 1 first. So I'm going to lightly tack this paper down. I'm just going to use a Post-it note. I use 2 different colors just so I can, so I've got one edge there and one edge here. Then I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to place my notch. So we've got our number 1, and I just want to do something really simple but pretty. I'm going to do one of these pretty flowers on the top here. So I'm just going to mark on here the notch. Then I'm going to tack this down on the surface so that I can work with that without it moving. Okay, then I'm going to pull in. What do I want to do? I'm going to pull in this Flirty Flamingo. And we're going to start off by, oh, what a lovely little brush. Just blending. In some color. Just kind of lightly. Just want to do it lightly at first. On this layer, I just want it lightly in there. And the next layer, I'll come in really strongly. And if I look at some of the paper already, just trying to get that in there. Okay, so I'm a little heavy on this side, but that's okay. I'm just blending it in. Actually, I'm going to use that pink again for the next section. So now that I've got that first layer of ink in there, I just want to get right into those edges. Okay, now I'm going to pull this one off, right? Keeping my paper on there. Then I'm going to grab my next layer, number 2, line up the V. Let's see, that says number 2. Yep, line up the V. Right over top of that. Okay, now I'm going to grab this and put it on pretty much full strength. Just so I get a much more saturated pink on this layer. Want to get some really good saturated color on this layer here. Because that other layer, I did really try to do quite lightly, right? So it's all about building. The blending is all about building your image in there. Okay, so now I've got this color quite saturated. Pull that off again. Always making sure you don't go over the edge. But yeah, I can just take a baby wipe to that and wipe that off. Oh, looking good so far. Okay, then we've got number 3, which is showing me that I want to have a leaf here. So I'm lining up that V again. I should have made a line on the edge of my piece here. Okay, so now I'm just gonna rub that off. Try and get as much of that off as I can. I'm gonna go grab a baby wipe actually, because I want to lightly brush this off. And I just think I didn't know I was getting masks today, so I had to go off and grab baby wipes because I normally don't use them because they have a slight fiber to them sometimes. You get on your stamp and then you get a line. But for this circumstance, just a slight bit of dampness is nice to get rid of that color. Okay, Okay, so now I'm going to pull in Old Olive. Oh, and I got my finger too, so that was good. Opportunity to have that there. Okay, so now I'm going to do some green with my stamping brush here. I've stained it. I'm sure I've stained it. Stained it now. The red stains everything. Okay, so now I'm going to pull off some green and come back to that edge of that paper again. Just because I don't want too much, but I don't want too little. Okay, so I'm going to scrub that off. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to add some light green to this. Pulling in from the edges. Should I do a circular motion? With this brush, it's a little bit different than the regular blending brushes. It's a little bit different to use this one. I can still do the same circular motion. It just gives a little bit different of a finish. The other blending brushes, you kind of push on the back and this one is just so delicate. I mean, it's giving a very pretty blend to it. Some of the parts are darker, some of the parts are lighter. Okay, all right. Now, the next color, the next piece is a stem. Now I could use the green. I think I might use the green. I'm just gonna have to go pretty strongly with it on here. So this one here, I think I'm gonna visually have to line it up a bit more than the other one that I did before, because that stem is really gonna wanna, so I'm gonna have to mark that V, but also make sure I'm really in the design there. So line up that V, but also just double checking that I'm getting a good match there. I want to make a connection with my flowers without overlapping. So there we go. I think that's probably a really good position there. And low tack tape. And then I'm going to pull in this green again, and I'm just going to go very strong with it. So not as much rubbing off, just really getting in there. That's going to be a dark green in that one section. Now this is very artsy. Doing the masking is very it's a more dirtier design work. It's not just cutting paper, right? You're getting your fingers dirty. You're getting things dirty. Getting some nice saturation of color in there. Now these leaves, this leaf here, you could do that on the edge of any flower. Absolutely, you could. You could line that up with the edge of a flower. Yeah, this is very saturated now. Looks really good. Okay. I think that's it for my little brushy brush. And then, let's see, what do we think? Oh, that's pretty. I probably went under looks like I went under it a touch. Or what did I do? Oh, I know what I did. I didn't finish this bit here. It's okay. I'm actually going to make a sentiment and cover this up. So this was a very simplistic design, but yeah, there was a little bit of smudging I got under there. Don't know how I did that. It's okay. Then I'm going to take my eraser and erase my V right off of there. You'll never know it was on there. Kind of like watercolor when you have your pencils underneath. Okay. Now what do we do with this? What do we do with this? Do I do a pink card and cut? do a pink card base and cut this down to just be a center strip. Or, like, that's kind of nice as it is. Just make a simple basic card. You know what I could do? I could take my cutter and add some edges to it. So I'm going to take my cutter. I'm going to place this in 1/4 of an inch off each edge. I'm just going to make a line with my scoring tool. I'm actually going to turn this upside down so that it's a bump, not a divot. So I'm going to go 1/4 of an inch, turn it, go a 1/4 of an inch, turn it, 1/4 of an inch, turn, and a 1/4 of an inch. There we go. Now I've got a little frame on it. I don't know if you can see that, but now I've got a little frame to it, so it's framed now. Then if I take the pink, I'm going to do 4 1/4. So this one's going to kind of stand up and down. So 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. We shall do that. Fold that. Actually, could have made this a lot smaller. Would have been better if it was like really kind of small. And then I put a sentiment across there. How would I do that sentiment? Do I have any more in this lovely set here? What do we got? What do we got? Got a cute little flag. That's just not the right. Comes in nicely off the top, but not nice in there. My brain is working right in front of you. The thing about doing it this way is that you are using your brain right in front. You know what? I'm not going to use one of these today. I just don't think it's the right fit. I'm just going to use some white scrap. Put some white scrap here. Move my scrap container over to, didn't I? Yep, I did. Yep, I did. Okay, tons of white scrap here. So, if I was to take a little piece of the pink, let's pull in a little scrap of pink. We can tie that in again. A little scrap of pink, a little scrap of white, right? Some white, right? Okay. Grab our stamps. I think I'm going to go with the pink today. Let's do birthday wishes. Again, we've used birthday wishes before. I think we used birthday wishes today. Again, B block, which is the perfect block size for all the stamps in this kit. We'll bring in our pink again. Birthday wishes. Stamp that across. Let's see what we think about that. That is pretty. I wish that stem was a little bit longer. Just, I want it to come underneath. And you know what? I could make it longer, couldn't I? Or I could add another leaf to the other side. I could do that. Who says I can't? Okay, so this one here and this one here. Now I'm only going to want to, do I just want to add 3 leaves to the bottom here? Where did I put that sentiment? There it is. What if I do, we've got more than one flower here. I could do a little yellow flower down here. And then when the sentiment went on, it would at least have a little flower. Do you know what? Let's do that. So I'm going to make a new mark. I went and got a little ahead of myself. So I'm going to grab a yellow and add it to here. So first I'm going to tack down my blue piece. Then I'm going to take my other piece. So I've got my blue piece nice and lined up. That's lightly tacked onto the table here. Let's get most of the sticky off there. Okay. Then I'm going to take number 1, which is here. And because that sentiment's going to go across right here, I'm going to place this piece. I want it to go off to the left. So if that sentiment was right there, it would cover up some of this flower. So let's pull this flower a little more like this. So now I would just have to make sure that my flower's in place. And I just have to make a mark, which happens to be on my Post-it note, where the V is. Doesn't matter where the V goes, as long as the V is there and I've got it lined up. So now I'm going to make a mark on the edge here and make a mark for the V on the Post-it note. Doesn't matter, as long as it's in the right spot. Okay, so now I'm going to pull in yellow, which means I really want to wipe this off. Otherwise, I'm going to end up with a really muddy yellow. So there's my Post-it note, or my little baby wipe here. Okay, now let's hope I can get some really good saturated color here. So I'm going to pull in the crushed curry color. Slide that over. Do the exact same thing I did before. So the crushed curry is coming in strong. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go, this is sheet number 1. I'm going to bring in that yellow. Nice and lightly bring in that yellow. This is such a calming thing to do. It's a very calm activity to use a mask. You just take your time. This is such a light little blending brush. It's very different to use versus the other ones that we use. It's nice, it's just different. And last time I pushed under the mask a little bit when I did the stem. I don't want to do that again. So I got to make sure I'm very good about staying on top of my mask and not pushing the brush. I'm just brushing the brush from the edges in. Not pushing. No pushing. But yeah, I've got this light layer of yellow now. Nice light layer. So if you wanted to, the one thing about this set or this kit, this advent calendar, is it's allowing you to play with all kinds of different things. So that's another bonus, right? Is that you get to, when you bring this one home, you're playing with all different kinds of stuff. Okay, so now I've got my V. This is number 2 sheet. My V there, and then I've also marked the edge. So now I've got my edge too. These masks are super forgiving. They actually don't line up perfectly. The leaf was really the only one that did line up kind of perfectly like it was meant to be lined up. But the other ones, like the other flowers and stuff, it's not doing that. Okay, I shifted it by accident. Okay, pull that light tack up. There we go. Obviously, I didn't tack it that well. Okay, so let's tack this one down. Maybe get a little more of the tacky on there. Not Takis, tacky. Speaking of Takis. Anybody else love those? Anybody else love Takis? They are a secret little fun thing for me. I love them. Such a flavorful little chip. I have always been a bit of a salty girl versus sweets girl. Love salty stuff. My husband loves baked stuff. He loves sweets. Loves sweets. That's his favorite. And unfortunately, he did not marry a baker, so I don't know. Poor guy. Poor guy, because I'm not the one baking all kinds of stuff for him. I'm grabbing potato chips and baked potatoes with sour cream and salt and pepper. Yeah, so poor guy marries a lady who doesn't bake. Okay, so we are done with number 2. Number 2, and I just really want these 2 flowers. So there we go. That's a different looking flower. I would have thought that would come down a little bit more in there. I guess it's supposed to be that way though. It's not supposed to line up. It's supposed to be a little more. Oh yeah. Here, I'm trying to scratch that off. That's my pencil mark. Silly goose. Let's do number 3. What does that show me? Number 3 is showing me that there's a couple of leaves on there. Do I want to do those? Number 3 says a couple of leaves. Now, no point in doing them if they're going to be covered up. So let's grab that birthday wishes again. Put that across. Yeah, I'm going to cover both of those up. Both those leaves are going to be covered up. So we don't need to do that. And number 4, right there, is the center of the flower. You know what? I will do the center of the flower. Let's line that up. What color do we want to do the center? Maybe the center of the flower could be green. We could do that. That would tie in a little bit more of the green. So let's line that up again. Oh, there we go. And there we go. And because I've got a bit of crushed curry on there, that might actually make for a really fun green. Okay. Let's grab that old olive. And we're going to put a little bit of old olive green in there. That's going to be the center of our little flower. That is super quick to do. Masks are fun. Masks are fun. Oh, that's cute. Okay. All right, let's put this stuff away. So of course, so I don't, by accident get it dropped in there. So that wasn't even hard to do, like a secondary on top, right? It wasn't that hard to add another layer to that. So I'm going to cut a piece of this pink just for an extra underlayer. So let's just cut, I'm doing that off camera again. Let's just cut a 1/2 inch of pink because I'm just adding it to like add some dimension to that white piece. So we're gonna go like that and like that. Pull in this again. That's our base. Add that and that. We'll just do it just to cut off the ends here. Would that be okay if I just cut off the end? And it was kind of off the end like that? Or should I go right all the way across? I mean, that doesn't look horrible to do like a staggered layer like that. But there's something about me that says I want to get it all the way across. Just have that pink as an accent. Okay, so I'm gonna lay this pink down here, this one up top, bring in some embellishments, some of them shakery bits. I gotta try not to get a whole bunch of, oh, they're right there. Let's bring some of these in there. We could do that. Add some gold bits to there. One. These are so pretty, these gold bits. They are so pretty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just that little sliver of pink underneath. Going across. Don't think I like it like this. I tried it already, but I'm going to try it again. See if I would like that. Birthday wishes just coming off the end. Wouldn't look horrible. Yeah, you know what? I will do it off the end. Okay. So we're going to shimmy those off. I already erased that stuff. I think I want to pop this up though, this layer up if I can. So let's keep these ones down. I'm going to lay that across like that. So let's grab our Stampin' Seal. I lost it. There it is. Okay. Stampin' Seal across on that. Then I'm going to grab this birthday wishes. We're going to try and do the same kind of slant on that. Birthday wishes. Oh, this one's a little bit crooked. Let's just lift that up. Let's just lift that up and move that so it's not crooked. Okay. Nice and straight. I can get it nice and straight if I use the grid paper. There we go. Okay. The birthday wishes, we're going to put that down too. Get that across there. Birthday wishes. Nice and snug in there. Just wanted that little bit of pink to just give it a little accent. And then I'm going to put one of these gems right here so that it looks really good on the end there. Okay. So now we're going to cut off the back here. Just trim off the back. Then I want to pop this onto dimensionals. So I've got my card base. I've got a little bit, this one's a little bit smaller than the other side, so we always just flip that to the front. Nobody will know. Okay. Dimensionals. Dimensionals. I have some baby ones here. Little itty bitty dimensionals. So I'm going to put some stability in the center. Just because they're little bitty, itty bitty bitty ones. Let's get some more stability in the center. Okay, take your pick tool. We're going to poke the backs of these dimensionals and those little papers will pop right off. That's a fun little tip. Now, I could probably do better at masking if I didn't feel like I had to do it a little bit quicker for the sake of the, you know, not taking too long on the video. But I do love doing that. I do love doing this little frame with just using my scoring tool. It's a great way to just frame up a card, super easy. Then I've got some glue that I've put in a precision tip bottle. So we've done our little mask. I'm going to put a lovely big one right there because I want it to look nice. One there, one there, one here, and one here. So we've got 5. Because again, I don't care about how many of these I use because we got so many. So one big one, gonna place that right here, right on the end of my little flags. A big one and a little one. So let's do a little one there. And then a big one on top. Now, is that the right way? Yeah. Big one on top. I mean, honestly, we've only gotten in a couple of days here. 5 days, and these are already looking so, like, all the stuff we got is just so fun already. I'm making things that are similar in design because I am using one type of designer series paper, but they are so pretty. It's so pretty. Okay, so there's our little masks. There's the project I made with the masks today. I was just messing around. And I covered up most of my mistake that I had, my little mistake that I had. I covered that up with my banner here, but I think this is a cute little card. This is a lovely one to give to someone. I'm sure somebody would love to get that. Okay, so again, thank you for watching. I always appreciate it when you watch. I don't know who all of you are, but if you'd like to say hi, I would love for you to say hi. Make a comment, say hello, say, hey, I watched that one. That one was really fun. Or, geez, you know, I really could have done something different. This advent calendar is kind of the same styles, right? We've got some florals and some gold, which is always beautiful to give away to friends. And so I think it's fun to play with. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time. Talk to you later. Bye.